Okay, so I want to go over packaging in InDesign and make sure, this is in your first tutorial practice, minor project, or your second one. The end of the video will go through this process again, but I figured I would do a separate video just for the packaging process alone. So if you look at, this is basically the syllabus that I created in InDesign. And here, you always want to check before you package and you finalized everything. You always want to check to make sure you don't have any errors in the bottom in your pre-flight window here. And you can see I have one error, and you can double click on it and continue to double click and continue to double click, and it'll show you where the error is. And you can also see, if I zoom in here real quick, you can see the question mark on the bounding box of this image right here. If I go into my links window, which is the little links panel here, if I go into this, if you don't see it there, you can always go into window and links and open it up. If any of your navigational windows on the right side of your interface are not visible, or if you don't see the same ones I do or that I have in the videos, you can always go up to window. Anything related to type and tables is going to be there, like paragraph and character windows, but all of your windows are going to be listed there. So notice here I've got the question mark. So this image, what this means if I have this error is that after I place this image, which originally that screenshot of the cover of the book was on my desktop, and before I packaged this, I moved it. I moved that image into a folder to organize my desktop, and so now it's not connecting to that link from when I originally placed it. So now I have to reconnect it or relink that image so I don't have any errors. And we want to make sure we do that before we package our work. So I'm just going to double click on the image here, and when it brings up, you can also double click on the question mark in the page as well. But it's going to bring up a window saying basically, where is this image now? So I would put it in the images for slides folder, and here it is. So I can open this. Now it has relinked to the image and I have no errors. So now we're good. So now I'm going to go to File, Package. It is an actual command in InDesign. You're going to get a little series of information here. It's just telling you what is in the folder. And we want to save this before it will let us package. So I'm saving this folder to the desktop. It'll basically add the word folder to whatever the file name is. So that's why I always tell my students to always go ahead and label when you start a document or start a document in InDesign. You always want to go ahead and label it as you're instructed to label your file. So it's usually your last name first, underscore, and the project name or title. So I'm going to put this on my desktop. I'm going to include the IDML and I'm going to include the print PDF. So make sure those are checked. I'm going to package. This is a warning window just letting you know, look, if you used any typefaces that have licensure to them, make sure you're not infringing on copyright and following the license agreement. And so now, depending on how many high-res images you have, it may take a moment to package. It may take 5 minutes, depending. So here is my folder. Before you submit your work, you want to always make sure everything's in your packaged folder. So if I open this up, I have, and what this is doing when we package, it's putting everything we used in our document inside a folder, and it's automatically putting it all together for us, including different versions. So I've got a print PDF that I uploaded. Actually, I did an interactive PDF, so I can show you that real quick as well. So let me go back here. So I can also export by going to File, Export, or Command E or Control E, and I can also create an interactive. You've got print PDF and interactive. And when you package, it's automatically going to put a print PDF. But since I have, if you have a hyperlink or something interactive in your layout, you may want to do an interactive PDF and add that to the packaged folder. So here's my interactive PDF. I'm just going to drag it to the folder, and I'm going to keep both. So now I have a print version as well as a interactive version. So I can make sure, oops, I can add interactive with that one so I know which is which. Okay, so I've got both versions of the PDF. I've got a print PDF as well as an interactive PDF. I've got my main INDD file, which is my current working InDesign file. The IDML is a version of my file that will be compatible to older versions of InDesign. So if you have the newest version and I am running on last year's version of Adobe, I would have to open your IDML in order to view it. And we also have a couple of folders here. If I open the document folder, I've got it's listed all, including the default, but it's got all of the typefaces I used in my document. If I open my links folder or look in there, it's got the 2 screens shots or the images that I used on the cover of the syllabus. So everything is here. So once you've double checked and everything is in the folder, you can right click or control click, and then you're going to compress. On a PC, you may have an extra step. It may say send to, and then you can follow that to compress. And then you want to compress it to a zip. And when we compress to a zip, it's no longer considered a folder. It's considered a zip file. So if you are uploading to Box to turn something in, then you will see the option to, you can either drag it in there, or, so let's say we are uploading this, you know, to a folder or assignment, say this is your resume project, for instance. You can drag the zip into the folder, or if you use the upload option, upload the zip as a file, not a folder. So either way, so once you've done that, you've packaged it, you compressed it, then you will upload it to the appropriate folder in Box for that assignment. Okay? Thanks for listening.